All right, welcome back to the No Quarter Pod.
Episode 6.
Episode 6.
The number
Hey,
one
we got a little
podcast in
ask.
Idaho.
I like that.
We got a little
Self-proclaimed.
ask from all of our viewers. We're having a little difficulty reaching people. Personally, I'm subscribed on 3 different platforms to our podcast, and it's not reaching me. So we would ask that all of you, if you like what you're hearing, like what you're seeing, please share the podcast.
Mark Zuckerberg hates Rob Adams
He does.
personally.
This is true.
He's had how many? Seriously, all honesty, how many accounts have you had deleted?
I would say no less than 6, no more than 10.
So my wife said she stopped following you. I was like, do you follow Rob? Because you posted the video of that driver going the wrong way right here.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, do you follow Rob? Because it's a funny video. You should watch it. She's like, I stopped following after like 3 Instagrams ago. She's like, every time I add him, he just loses an Instagram.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, I think we've got some guilty by association for the
Possibly.
for the No Quarter Pod, like just because it is affiliated with Black Rifle, all the Black Rifle shops.
Yep.
Your personal page,
Yeah.
your personal page,
Oh,
which
yeah.
like you're ruthless. Like you have zero.
No, I have.
like
I go
zero
way harder than
regard.
Rob on the personal
Absolutely.
page.
You know what's crazy?
You know.
So is the Boise Black Rifle
Yeah.
Facebook. It's got like 50,000 followers on it. And
Yeah.
it grew. It was growing. And then just like maybe 5-6 years ago, completely stopped growing. Not losing, not like just stopped growing.
you even had a couple viral posts, like
Yeah.
well over 1 million views.
Oh, I wish if I would have monetized those with YouTube or something.
Oh, it
probably
was
would
never
have
gonna
got
happen
paid.
for you.
Yeah, no. But so when you go on there right now, the account is suspended. It's been suspended since December. And so nobody can see it. Admins can see it that are admins of the page. But if you go to the health of the page, it says excellent.
Yeah.
So, but there's nobody to reach out to. There's
Well,
nobody.
that's one of the things that I've always seen when you get shadow banned, because we dealt with that all the time, and that actually even happened to me. My personal account got flagged and then deleted. Like I actually lost all of my personal accounts when it was linked back to the factory account. And one of the things they say is stop posting for like 2 weeks, like just kind of go dark.
Yeah.
And the shadow ban will start to lift.
Well, it's crazy. So my personal page, usually, I've got thousands of people that follow me personally. I can't get it over like 950, right?
Yeah.
Like it just is stuck there. But then, the Boise page, right out of the gate, we had like 10,000 followers. They nuked that account multiple times. And now we're just hovering at like 6,700. Sacramento account, well over 20, 30,000 people on Instagram.
Yeah.
Nuked it, stuck at like 3,500. And then my sleepy little hollow Sparks, right? They're like 8,800 page. They
Crushing.
never get any traction. They just stay at the 8,800. It's wild. I don't know.
Oh, they're stuck too.
Yeah, they're stuck. Yeah, all of them. So
all that
common
to say,
denominator.
yeah. So all that to say, like, I think what we're discovering is our growth. If we're gonna grow, it's gonna be grassroots. And there's, this is episode 6, right? We're
New.
We're new. We're 6 episodes in, but like our reels, we were tracking views on our reels, and pretty consistently it'd be like 1,800 to 2,500, and that's like a pretty normal fluctuation. And the last one we put up was like 600.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we're just noticing that there's some fall off. My assumption is it's guilty by association. It is what it is. So our ask is kind of help us to do that grassroots growth.
Yeah.
And
Across any platform that you're listening to, it's difficult. Matter of fact, I watch a lot of things on YouTube. I watch YouTube way more than I watch TV. I don't even like TV, but I watch a couple selling channels. There's one selling by Zatara. It's a family. They sold everything they have and they bought a boat and they're out selling the world. I'm not getting any of their content, so I have to actually physically go look for it. There's another one. It's a homesteader up in northern Idaho. He was a cop out of Washington, and they decided to sell everything. He quit his job.
Is this the dude that's doing the well? Yeah, there's like whole saga about his like well system.
No, that's a different dude, but I've seen that one too.
Yeah.
But this guy built a house up in northern Idaho, and I'm not getting any of their content at all. And it's like a wholesome family. Like,
they're the ones that built that barn dominium, right?
yes, they built the barn dominium,
Yeah,
and
I
then they
know
built
exactly.
a real
I'm totally
house.
following them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Happy-
cool.
happy
I don't-
days.
How did they
Happy-
get shut down. They
Bro, I
literally
have no
post about
idea.
like
I don't
post
think that
about
they are.
horses.
I don't think that they
dogs,
are,
and
but it's-
building a
it's-
house.
I think Rob is like legit shadow banned. They're like, oh, this guy likes this
Dude,
shit.
it's
Fuck
wild.
him.
But so I have to physically go look for them if I want to see one of their episodes, and I'll be like, damn, I just missed like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
we should see if we can get like a YouTube whistleblower. Like we'll black out their face and do the whole thing, and just like see if they could get us to do like a
Tell us
It's
what's going
wild,
on.
though.
A
But they're
tell-all
all
from the-
connected, right? Like Google, like
Well, it's all
YouTube.
Meta.
Yeah, it's all just.
Oh well, Google's not Meta, right? No,
No,
Google's
no.
Google. Meta has Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
But why aren't they letting us see
WhatsApp,
that
like-
you know, like that's so wholesome. Like everybody should go and watch those pages.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it's not wholesome.
Oh, they're
if
Christian.
you really
that's
think
why.
about it. Well, not
Could
even.
be, yeah.
They're white Christian nationalists, even though I think he's Hawaiian.
He is Hawaiian.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't.
He is
think- but
Hawaiian.
but I think also too, like they don't want us to fucking grow our own food. They don't want us on off-grid solar. They
Yeah,
don't want us
that's
to.
And
be
they designed
self-sufficient.
they have a podcast now, and it's actually wildly popular.
Oh, that'd be cool. Maybe
And,
we can
and
hook
I'm
up
not
with them.
getting any of their notifications on their podcast either.
Well,
That'd
I
be
won't
fun,
reach
like,
out because
link
no
up
one
with-
responds to me apparently.
Yeah.
yeah, what's up with that guy? We should just start using the music, and I bet you he'll start reaching
Get his
out then.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, the real Samson. This dude, I'm telling you, if you guys, I'm not a big hip hop guy at all. Like I'm predominantly like thrash metal and metal music. That dude is bar none far superior
He's good.
to even
He's
like
good.
Tom McDonald, who says a lot of great stuff.
I mean, I reached out to him.
He's like a
twice.
political
You reached
rapper.
out to him.
He
yeah,
is
he's a political
This
rapper.
He's a
guy is a
political
political. Well, this real Samson is too, but he also sings about being a Nancy Pelosi, which is like
I mean, that's a political
awesome.
rap.
It's
Yeah.
awesome, hilarious political rapping.
Yeah.
though.
I would
Um,
say for the genre that it is, which
Yeah.
is political rap, it's pretty good.
it's pretty.
I
good.
wouldn't like. I don't want to talk shit, but like I'm not. That's not going to be on my playlist rotation or anything like that. As far
Shame.
as like, I'm like, yeah, this music's
Yeah, but
dope.
like some old George Strait or something, maybe.
yeah.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, oh my God, I'm in fucking purgatory listening to that.
No, man, I love like '90s country.
Oh,
That's the best.
Garth
Hell yeah.
Brooks.
Yeah,
Have you seen the Garth
Fuck
Brooks
Garth
thing?
Brooks.
yeah,
Where
yeah. He went all woke during the like Bud Light deal.
He's been woke
Was
his
it-
whole fucking career.
no,
I don't know
Tom,
about
Tom
his whole
Segura.
career,
Yes.
but- really?
Tom Segura
Yes.
Oh.
put him on blast, and if you go to his Instagram, like
Oh yeah, and then he got all ticked off about it.
he's just getting
and-
wrecked.
Yeah,
Every post forever now is ruined.
Well, what's so funny about that is if he would have just leaned into it and like
Yeah.
shot back, everybody would have been like, "Oh, Garth Brooks, Tom Segura," just like wrapped it off. It would have been they would have
Yeah.
gone viral, get a little bit of publicity, and then it would have been over. But he got all butthurt about it, and now everybody thinks he's
A
soft.
pussy. Yeah.
He's a little limp wristed, if you will. It's
There's a lot of that
unfortunate.
going on. There's
There's
a lot of soft
that
boys.
going on.
Yeah,
Speaking of limp wristing, I did see someone induce some I did see
that's
someone
the segue of all time. Speaking of limp wristing,
Speaking of limp wristing, I did see someone stovepipe their gun because their wrists were limp.
that does happen.
It does happen, but every time it happens, I'm just like, "How'd you do that?" But then I know it's just really funny.
It happens. I mean, you get fatigued, and,
doesn't
then
happen
you
to
try
me.
to do like one-handed drills. I remember we were doing a platform, like a viability test, and we had to go through like 10,000 rounds in a day on the same platform.
Light work.
Bro. I was so fatigued, and
Did
by
they make
the
you
end-
pick up all your brass too?
No, they had one of those pull behind things, like
Oh, yeah.
behind a quad.
Mm.
And anyways, it was like, I mean, you'd shoot and like you get all fatigued, so you shoot with one hand, and you shoot with the other hand. I was stokepiping left and right, man. It was just oh my gosh, just felt like a soft-handed Sally.
Yeah. Well, speaks volumes about your shooting.
Well,
Ah.
it is what it is.
So help us share the show.
Yeah, all that to say,
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. All of that. What we really mean is like, follow, share. I mean, click subscribe.
I was gonna say the notifications, like if you set up notifications on your whatever platform you're listening
yeah,
on,
it helps a lot.
that helps. Set the auto download, because for us, when we get views on YouTube is one thing, and then on the podcast, if you're listening on the audio only platforms, if you just click auto download, that gives us those statistics,
Yeah.
and so it helps us get plugged into the algorithm for recommendations.
And keep those
So-
comments coming, man. We love reading the comments
Dude, I
and
think
the
it's
DMs.
hilarious.
It's awesome. Like some of the heated debates over the SIG versus the Glock, and
I got
actually Matt did a little study of what our number one selling pistol was, and it is Glock for out of the Boise store, 100%.
Oh, we talked about that. Jeromy wanted to come with some facts, and I was like,
Now they actually sell more guns, but I think that those numbers are skewed because of the
think so.
military contract. So
I think they're wrapping up their their military contract
It has to
into
be.
their total sales.
It has to be.
There's not a chance there's going more towards.
Well, they're also taking into consideration like the P365 and all that other shit, which was like
Yeah,
the number
for
one
sure.
selling gun last year.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
undoubtedly.
But we did an internal little
It's
audit,
science.
and Matt came across it.
Can you lay that science out for me?
I cannot. I am not smart enough.
Will you educate me on the scientific method, Jeromy?
And what's up with this dude getting up at 7 o'clock this
I know
morning?
that's
6:30. Don't cut me
6:30.
short.
I'm impressed.
Dude,
We
my
talked about
kids
this.
were asleep.
Yeah.
My kids were
Well, thank you
asleep
for
when I
coming in
left.
early for this guy.
Yeah,
You're
thank
welcome.
you. I'm flying out today, so
Yeah.
I'll be back in 10 days. You guys are probably gonna have to cut an episode without me.
Can we figure out how to use that machine?
You just press buttons.
Do you know how to push a button?
You'll have to, yeah, you have to show
Yeah.
us.
You're just
can.
gonna have to set up the cameras and
Yeah.
yeah.
If everything stays the way it is right now and all we have to do is press buttons.
Yeah, I'll just make sure I take all the data with me, and that way I leave the cards.
Yeah,
and-
we can't fuck up that bad.
I mean,
We could.
Yeah.
And if we do, we could fix it.
I don't know when
Joy
you
of
first
editing.
when you first set it up, I was in here pressing buttons and reverbing my voice and shit.
The whole episode's gonna be in like alien voice.
No, I remembered how it was beforehand and put everything back.
This thing is pretty intuitive. It's pretty intuitive. Worst comes to worst, you could just hit reset all. Just set it, go back to you know.
Factory settings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be bad. Well,
So what do we got today, guys?
well, you said you were raging last
Someone
night or
was-
this
Bro,
morning.
dude, I'm
So fill me in first. Let's start with the New York. Would you say
It was the AG.
Okay, yeah. Fill me in with
AG.
that because I don't know anything about that. I was like,
Attorney General.
well, I mean, I know what that means. I get that portion, but I was driving and like Googling like,
Dude, it's
New
just so,
York,
like,
no
it-
traffic stops.
no, it's just
AG.
so corrupt, right? Like laws for us, not for them, and just it's just crazy. Like, so a simple traffic stop, and she decides that she doesn't want to stop for the police, and they go on like a couple blocks, and she pulls into her driveway, pulls up into her garage, and like gets out of the car like she's just gonna walk away from the police officer. And shame on them too. They should have fucking arrested that bitch. Like
Well,
literally.
Don't you know who I am?
Have you seen the video?
No. I literally Googled it on the way here and was like,
Oh,
this
bro.
is too much to read.
I'll
while
have to
I'm driving.
I'll have to dub it in, or at least link it or something. Dude, it's wild. She was so entitled, so annoyed that
Dude, it's
she was
almost
being
like she was
stopped.
fucking drunk.
And then at the end of
Honestly.
it, maybe at the end of it, she literally was like, "I just didn't want to stop."
Dude,
I
if she
mean,
calls the chief of police and puts the officer like on blast, like, oh, has his personal cell phone number.
Yeah, you've got the gall to pull me over,
and
kind
then,
of thing.
dude, it's just like, bro, the most disrespectful. Like, you're the highest. Like, the attorney general of the state is the highest law enforcement of the state.
She now I will say that she is under investigation for that.
I
incident.
hope she is, and I hope that she steps down. That would be the right thing to do.
In New York, I don't know. I mean, they got rid of what's his face.
Dude, and one, I get the cops have discretion. She broke the law. So I would go back. I would be willing. I mean, I would hope that somebody would investigate this. How many people got arrested for eluding? She eluded. She eluded. It's a crime.
I wonder what the statute is. There a statute of limitations on if you have an interaction with somebody with like a failure to stop? Is that eluding, failure, whatever it is?
Yeah.
Like, so you don't pull
It's a
over
crime.
for an
It's
officer.
a criminal crime.
So
Like,
I would imagine that's some kind of like fleeing or something.
dude,
along
all
those
of them.
lines.
The chief of police should resign. The lieutenant that came to the scene, the sergeant, and the cop.
Did
They
the
lit-
did the chief
literally-
of police tell his cop to leave her alone? Is that what
No,
happened?
the chief of police said he was going to send somebody else out there. But I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
shit rolls downhill. So he's the chief of police. He could say whatever he wants. He could do whatever and direct his people. The officer has discretion. She flat out broke the law. So
Yeah.
if they're not going to, arrest her, they cited her. And then she tells them on the video, I'm going to be investigating myself, or I'm going to be prosecuting myself. Give me the ticket. I'm going to prosecute myself.
Well, I don't think that's actually possible.
Well, I mean, she's the AG. She can do whatever she wants. She's going to have
No.
her minions.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually. I mean, now whether or not
Case
somebody.
dismissed.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's super corrupt. I mean,
But that fucking shit runs rampant. And it's everywhere. It's here in Idaho. It's fucking everywhere.
yeah.
Well, I
You know
mean,
what I
you think if Brad Little gets pulled over, the cops aren't going to just be like, "Oh, sorry, sir."
Well, he's always under a Idaho State Police escort.
He's not really. Dude,
not?
he has like very, very little security.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which is surprising.
I've been to a
'cause-
couple events where there's like very few people and he drives himself.
But does he not?
It's not like California, dude, where they have fucking hundreds of thousands
So he
of dollars
doesn't
worth of
always
guys.
have
maybe at the Capitol and at
what's
big
the word I'm
events,
looking for? Like personal protection. He doesn't always have an officer with him.
he might have one.
I
But-
guarantee there's got to be
Bro,
at
it's
least
very-
one plainclothes
It's
dude
very
around.
weird. I've been to 2 major political events, and then some very small ones. Obviously, when we were helping Tammy Nichols,
Yeah.
like 2 years ago, and he would show up to events, and there'd be like maybe 1 or 2 guys, and he'd get in his own personal POV and leave.
That's not all that surprising, but it would be surprising that he isn't at least escorted, maybe not in the same vehicle. I mean, he's the commander in chief of our National Guard. Like there has to be some kind of protection of
it's
him,
wild.
over him.
You know, we could get Dom and them in here to talk more about it, but it is absolutely, it's wild. It's
Could
not
be.
like California where you have Gavin Newsom
Yeah.
that's got hundreds of thousands of dollars each day,
Well, and the difference is
2 decoy vehicles, like in a whole fucking slew of officers. Like it's crazy.
Oh, it's like
Well,
a
also the
presidential
difference
convoy.
too is people don't necessarily like Brad Little here.
well, people
some,
don't like,
but like people like want to unalive Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a huge
probably
why
has-
not?
disparity.
He's for the people.
He has, I guarantee you, he's got way more threats again. Like he probably has more threats in a day than Little deals with in a year.
I've heard people saying that the guy's a lizard and like laying out where lizard people's hearts are. Like just in case you need to know, lizard people's hearts are in their shoulders and then hip. I was like, what?
What?
Trust me, dude. I don't know.
You lost me on that.
Yeah,
I don't even
I'm-
get the context. What are you
Well, you know,
talking
like
about?
you've never heard Gavin Newsom's like a lizard, like
No.
a
No.
reptile person.
No,
You've never heard that these people are reptiles.
no.
No.
Fucking, we'll save that shit for another episode.
This is like a tinfoil hat thing.
Did
Like
you-
there's a
did you,
conspiracy theory that they're like alien lizard people.
Yeah, there are people that think that.
Did you go to Ontario?
Are
this
you
weekend?
one of those people?
No, I think that
Are-
they're,
are
I
you
think
sure?
that they're human. I think that there's a lot of fucking crazy people out there that believe a lot of crazy shit.
I agree with that.
I'll send you
But I
shit
have never heard
online.
about the lizard people.
I'll send you my sources.
Oh, jeez.
What was in Ontario?
Oh, there's
The weed shops.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, dude. I'm kind of like literally done with our government at all levels, dude.
Yeah.
It's so fucking corrupt.
It is.
We
is.
need a major reset. And this shit right here, like playing out on body camera, that's just out there to the public. Like there should be, like this should be on every news channel. Like I woke up this morning and it's not on Fox News, not on CNN. I looked before we came here.
Yeah.
There's a little headline. You know what I mean? But it's like all these investigative journalism like going on YouTube, like grassroots. Those are where you're getting all of your real information.
There
And,
needs to
and as
be
much as people hate these fucking auditors and shit, dude, they're fucking blowing the lid off a lot of shit.
Yeah.
These First Amendment auditors.
You're right. There is some good that comes out of it. My issue with the auditors is that they're instigating these things.
Some of them are, but some of them are. Some of them are pretty good.
I think most of when you walk into a public building and you're shoving cameras in people's faces because you're hoping for a reaction, it's just annoying to me.
It's like the white people version of race baiting.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I guess I don't know. Like it's
But there's a lot of education that goes there. There's a lot of people that don't know that you have a right to record law enforcement, any public official in their public official duties.
yeah.
You're allowed to record them.
Absolutely. And I'm all for educating people like when the time is appropriate, it
Right.
occurs naturally or whatever. But going out of your way to create a situation that is going to escalate, looking for lawsuits, like there's so many of those guys. That
I don't
are out
like
there
that
doing
part
kind
of it,
stuff.
right? Where they're trying to go after monetarily, like trying to get in a confrontation where there's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
But I like the aspect of educating the people because there are a lot of people have zero clue of what the fuck's going on.
Well, I think all public servants should be able to have cameras shoved in their fucking faces, and they should shut up and like it.
I just like the accountability.
They should
No,
just shut
for
the
real.
fuck up and like it.
I'll-
You signed up for this job, shut the fuck up, like it.
I'll speak to this from the other side. And it's a little bit different because I'm not in law enforcement. I'm just in the EMS side. But when I'm out in public, there's no reasonable right to privacy. Totally understand that.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I'm on a scene conducting my job, caring for people, I mean, we get news cameras out there. There's nothing we can do about it. But when people start to come up and encircle a person who is injured, a person who is frightened, and all they're doing is whipping their cameras out, it is incredibly obnoxious. And it's not
Oh,
just
I can see that 100%.
it's not just about how it makes me frustrated from the perspective of like what you're doing is you're creating another factor that I have to pay attention to. You're taking, even if it's a small amount of attention that
Away
you're
from
taking
your-
away
yeah.
from what I'm supposed to be doing just to make sure that I have situational awareness, because I don't know you. Therefore, I don't trust you. And no, I can't do anything legally about you being there. You're now taking my focus from the person I'm supposed to be caring for, and you're making me give whatever percentage of attention it is to you. And it's the same for law enforcement. It's the same for anything else. Now, look, is it legal? Yes. Is it right? Maybe in certain circumstances, but there's a difference between injecting yourself into a situation and being a peripheral observer where I may not even know you're there. If that's the case, cool, perfect. Film away all you want. I have nothing to hide. I'm fine with being on camera. But when you're injecting yourself in the situation because you think it is your obligation to make yourself known and make yourself known that you're filming, it becomes a problem, not because of the legal implications of it, but because now you're taking away from what I'm doing. And it's the same for cops.
Yeah.
Whether or not the cops are...
The interfering part, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I'm not
But
saying
the transparency
interfering.
part, all bets are off. I love
totally.
the transparency.
I do too. I'm everything on film, everything on audio. I'm
The
for
one
it.
thing I fucking hate that I watch is people filming law enforcement and then being like, back up, back up, back up, and trying to make it so they can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
I think that's a cop-out piece of bullshit. It's like, dude, here's a gig. I'm not interfering with your investigation, but if someone wants to be close enough to film that officer handling someone, they should absolutely be able to, without threat of you're fucking hindering the investigation.
Yeah.
Now, there is a difference between people that do showing up and being like, I'm not in your face, I'm not in your face, I'm not, and just fucking really
Or
trying to
asking
do that.
questions. What are you doing? Why is this person detained? It's none of your business.
Yeah, it's none of your
Actually,
fucking
isn't that
business.
isn't that totally our fucking business?
No, I don't think it is. I don't think that if I'm an officer and I'm engaged in a lawful interaction, whether or not it's consensual or I'm forcing it under whatever lawful pretenses there are, I don't think it's your business to come up and be like, well, what are you doing? Why are they detained?
There's a time and place.
It has
If you wanna
nothing
ask
to do
after
with
the
you.
fact. I think that's good, but I think interrupting or
Oh yeah,
getting
while they're
involved
actively
in-
handcuffing someone, don't just be like,
There's
what's
a lot
going
of things
on?
going on, you know.
Right.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
fucking
If you
I
want to
totally get
film,
that.
if you want to be at a distance, if you want to film, if you want to gather all of the information, if you want to be a good witness, the best way you can help that person
Is to shut
is
the fuck
to
up
keep your mouth shut,
and film.
film, observe everything, remember everything, and then when it's done, sit yourself down and write a detailed account of all of it.
Yep.
And if that person needs a good witness,
Well, I've
now
never
that's what
understood
you
either
are.
too why people, when they get pulled over and they escalate everything, there's that is not the time on the side of the road to
No.
hold court, right? Just do what you're fucking told.
When is it
Right
ever,
or wrong.
Right.
Don't resist, and then just fucking go to court. But the system is fucking corrupt
Yeah,
too, so it's hard to.
There's a lot of really,
sometimes you
fucked
feel
up.
like you got to fucking fight for your rights.
It's the idea of I think there's a time and a place for the war. You know what I mean? And I'm saying this parenthetically, algorithm. There's a time and a place for going to battle against the system, and maybe that time is now, maybe it's not. That's
I don't know.
probably
But
that's
what
probably
we
a different
just
discussion.
witnessed on this with this AG
Right.
is complete fucking bullshit.
I completely agree with you. What I'm getting at with this is when it is you versus 1, 2, 10, 20 other individuals.
Yeah.
The odds are not in your favor. And for me, I want to get to the other side of the interaction alive, handle it however I need to handle it. And if there needs to be war waged against the system, so be it.
Yeah.
But that interaction, you're not going to win.
Yeah, not right then.
You're not going to win right there. You know what I
You're
mean?
gonna get dogpiled on for sure.
I don't know. Jeremy, you look like you want to disagree vehemently. Vehemently? Vehemently.
You need to stop saying words I don't understand. You already said one. It was I'm saying you put quotation marks up instead of word.
So,
I don't know even what the fuck
Do you
that
ever
meant.
wonder where that got leaked from?
What?
Because there was no civilians on that scene.
The body cam?
Yeah,
I mean, it's all open source.
I understand that, but who was somebody just looking for
so
information?
I think
how would that get leaked?
I'm pretty sure channels like Code Blue Cam and Audit the Audit, all those.
Yeah.
I
The
think-
audit's actually a really good one.
I like how he talks about the legal stuff. I don't always agree with his grading.
Yeah.
But I think what they're doing is they have a rolling account of what's going on because as people
Dude, they must be just following fault.
exactly.
filing-
I think they're tracking all of those interactions and then just filing for all of that cam.
Dude, that's
yeah.
just so crazy.
I
That's
think
a
they
lot
have,
of
I
data.
honestly, I think those channels have full staff that is dedicated to just gathering
I mean,
information.
think about that. That's one AG.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of mayors and shit, dude, that are just as corrupt.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of freaking.
I can't stand those. Like, you know who I am? Like, dude, I don't care who you
But
are.
that's just so
You were
crazy.
doing 100 and a 25. Doesn't matter who you are.
Holding the example. She should be the example.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that holds your fucking life in her hand.
Her response should have been, you know what? You're absolutely right. I should do better. Like,
Yeah.
I'll take the ticket. Like, good on you.
I honestly
good
think
on
that
you
she
for
was
having
drinking.
the courage to pull me over.
I think she was under the
Maybe.
influence.
Well, I'll tell you firsthand, cops don't like when you don't stop
Sure.
when you're driving.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they probably like it a lot.
No, I mean, I think you're right. I think they
use
do.
this cool
No,
taser.
I mean, if you were a cop, wouldn't you want to get in vehicle pursuits? I'm just saying I'm not a cop. Maybe I'm
They're so
talking
dangerous,
out of
though.
my ass.
You set me up so well for saying what I said before the podcast started.
What? Which was what?
Just that I can't say it on the podcast. You said, like, I'm sure some cops like vehicle pursuits. Others might not make it so well. But
No,
that's
I
an
know what
inside
you're talking
joke. If
about.
you don't get it, comment and maybe I'll say it in the comments under my personal stuff. I don't know.
No, but I would like to dude, there's got to be an end to that. She needs to resign. She needs to be fired. I don't know that she's an elected official. So,
But even if she does, it's irrelevant because some other asshole's going to step in and do the same fucking thing.
yeah, but
so it's
accountability. So they all get fired. They all have to quit their jobs.
Yeah, but then they're like fucking cockroaches.
Bro,
dude.
if I did some shit like that, every single one of my licenses would be fucking pulled.
Oh, you're not allowed
immediately.
to. It's rules for
Yeah, but
not for me.
you sell
or
guns.
somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about this other fucking jack off in Florida? Did you see this?
So
over
I
the
haven't.
weekend?
You mentioned that one this
Yeah,
morning.
I don't know
haven't
what's
seen
going
it.
on in Florida.
So walk it out.
So this husband and wife, they fucking own a secondary home in Florida. They live in New York. Fucking complete libtards, right?
Okay.
He gets caught on camera. He has a meltdown because a bumper sticker "Let's Go Brandon" is on a car,
Oh yeah,
and
I
he
did see
fucking
this.
keys the car, and they get video of it. And the cops actually do real good police work, investigate it,
Well-
find out where the guy lives, and
Shout
they
out
go
Florida.
and fucking arrest him. And he is dumbfounded, like
Dude,
he wasn't allowed to do that.
I saw the interaction of the officer at his house when he's talking to him, and his wife is standing there,
Yeah, and she
and he's like, "Sir, just so you know, we have video footage of all of it." He's like, "Okay, so did you key the car?" "Yeah." "Why?" I don't know. Was it because of the "Let's Go Brandon" sticker?" He's like, "Yeah, it just infuriated me."
So-
and his
so-
wife is like,
the irony
she
of
was
this.
so annoyed. At
Like
Just
the
like, what
irony
the
of this,
fuck?
like literally, the dude owns a home, a vacation rental in
Florida.
fucking Florida.
Yeah.
Like one of the most red states in the country.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you think you could come down from fucking New York City with your fucking New York attitude and fucking do that shit and think that you're not going to be held accountable? And he was like, "What do you mean I got to go to jail?" "Sir, that's a fucking felony in the state of fucking Florida. You're
Keying
going
the
to
car's
jail."
a felony?
I think it's
It's the over $1,000.
it's how much it's
Fuck.
based off of how much money and how much
And then so the cop's
value
like,
of the
"Dude,
damage
it's
is.
going to cost $6,000 to repaint that car." And the guy's like,
was
"Well,
it
it
like
has
a
scratches
G-Wagon?
and dents all over it."
Irrelevant.
Yeah, and the cop's like, "Yeah, well, it's going to cost $6,000." And he's like, "Well," he looks at his wife, "Well, honey, we're going to have to paint the car." Like it wasn't a big deal. Like the biggest deal was they were shocked that he had to fucking go to jail.
That's wild.
And I'm like, "Dude, you motherfucker." Like, dude, don't touch somebody's fucking personal property. I don't give a fuck. Biden, Trump, whoever.
Yeah.
Like, don't touch anybody's fucking personal shit.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's funny.
Like, because one, you should get a fucking ass beating instead of
Yeah,
the jail.
I
Like, you
agree.
should get fucking stomped.
Pay for the car, and then you should just get smacked in the mouth a couple times.
You know, they should
That'd
they
be the
should
justice.
bring
Dude,
back
fucking, I was
bare
like,
knuckle fighting for
Oh, yeah.
conflicts.
this motherfucker was more worried about him going to jail. Like, oh, fuck, I got to go to jail for this?
Maybe we do need a little bit more Western justice. Like,
Bro.
hey, gentlemen's duels in the back. Like, cool. Hey,
But he was
officer,
so-
we're,
hey.
we're gonna handle this in the back.
Yes.
Like, you check us. No weapons, no knives, whatever. And
Yes.
and when you say we're done, we're done.
Yeah,
That's how it should be handled.
for sure. But here's the deal. This is how crazy the difference between the two state laws are. New York, where he's from, would have probably been nothing.
They would have
They'd
done
been
this.
like later. Like, oh, yeah, down in Florida, dude, he was held accountable.
Yeah.
So he's going to jail.
That's not the only video of that nature that's
I
out
love
there.
it.
Because there's another one where same thing. A guy saw a Trump sticker on a car, keyed it, and it it was all on camera, multiple witnesses, and they went to his house and arrested him. I'll pull it up and send it to you. It's
I love it.
Not uncommon.
I love it.
But
Rule of law is like literally like
I'm surprised. No,
you need
not,
to hold
not in our
people
state.
accountable.
I guess if you drove your truck out of state, you might be at risk of getting keyed.
Bro, I can tell you this. I haven't had, the thing is, funny joke. Anytime that I let anybody or any family in my car, my wife would always tell them, just be prepared. You're either going to get a thumbs up or you're going to get flipped off, when we're driving through California. But it's, I've never had anybody really tamper with anything. The only thing that we ever had politically was the first time in 2016 when Trump was running. Somebody stole our campaign signs. And I have cameras all around my house.
Have you seen the video where the guy electrifies all of his
I did.
campaigns?
Yeah, dude, I wanted to do that actually. But somebody stole the campaign signs off the front of our house. I had it on video, put it on Facebook, and within 30 minutes,
They were back.
some dad saw, hey, that's my kid, and made him bring him back to my house.
That's good parenting right there.
That was good parenting, yeah.
I mean, that's such a teachable moment. It's like, look, kid, that's fine.
It was actually a female that did it.
Whatever, but it's like, look, you can have your opinions. I
Yeah.
support you having opinions. What I don't support is theft.
Don't take my shit.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with my property.
So you're
Don't
going to
take my
go,
shit.
you're going to take it back. You're going to apologize. And then we're going to have a long conversation about personal responsibility
Yeah.
and learning how to disagree in a civil way.
You know what? That actually brings something to my attention, and I had this conversation recently, and I want your guys' opinion. Okay.
Shoot.
So me, my wife, and a few of our friends were talking about would you visit your kids or kid in jail if they were an adult and they were arrested for first-degree murder and it was very clear that they were guilty?
That's a tough one. Actually, Sherry and I had this conversation not long ago. We watch a lot of Dateline. That's the only TV show that I actually
so
watch.
hypothetically, so say in this, I'll give my opinion first. So if my son grew up,
I'm like, you got to lay out the case
grew
a little
up,
bit.
and we'll just, who knows, maybe a domestic dispute, decided to stab his wife to death.
Oh,
Would I go visit him in jail? Absolutely not.
okay.
Would you?
Yeah, I think I would.
That's hard, man. Being a good Christian, you're supposed to forgive people and like,
Well, forgiveness isn't lack of consequence.
yeah,
So there's a distinction that's important.
I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah, everyone thought I was like super cruel, but I'm like, I don't kick it with murders.
Because here's the other side of that coin, right? Somebody hurt one of my people in a very bad way.
Yeah.
I mean, I would commit premeditated murder pretty quickly and get convicted. and
Yeah,
go
but
to
I mean,
prison
different
for it.
context.
Right. So
Yeah,
that's my
yeah.
point.
I mean, of course,
it does come
context
down to
matters.
the context. Now, if it were to come out that he was a, I don't
Serial
even
killer.
want to say it. You know
I
what I
know.
mean? But it's like that type of person, like the visitation would not be the same. Like it would very much be.
Here's
you
a pack
know,
of cigarettes to sell so you
no,
don't get
like
fucked.
it would be like, look, you're my son. I love you because you're my son. Like you, I don't know. The conversations would be very different. Now, if you were,
That's a tough one.
It's a
Yeah,
tough
it's a
one.
fucking
I
gnarly
think,
one,
I
huh?
think the answer is yeah, I would. But
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, I respect that.
But if he was
Totally.
just like, committing murder because somebody murdered somebody that he loved, I'd be like, high fives.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, yeah. Yep.
Context matters.
Context
Yeah,
matters.
that's a tough one.
Did you see the video or the recent post about that lady from like a long time ago that stood up in court and just like gunned down the guy who killed her daughter?
Oh, it was a mom or a dad?
It was a mom.
Was that in California?
She was walking with a trench coat and stood
It's
there.
happened a couple of times.
Well, I love the payphone man. Payphone
Yeah, that
man
was a
is
good
the
one.
Oh, yeah.
fucking man.
That's Ellie Nestler you're talking about in
it?
California a long time ago. Sonoma.
So
Sonoma,
somebody killed her daughter. She stood up in court and
Gunned him down. Yeah, she only flinched once too with no ear pro.
nice.
Yeah.
Was she convicted?
I think that's why California. I think that's
absolutely.
why they changed the law now.
Well, in
now there's-
California, that guy wasn't.
What? No, I'm saying Ellie Nestler. If it's her, if that's the case he's referring to, that's why now they all have
Yeah, that picked up on all the mics.
metal detectors.
What, your sneeze?
Oh, dude, fucking allergies. Just
God bless you.
thank you.
Yeah.
So what else? What other hot topics? So those were the two that got me this week, and I'm like, dude, this is so crazy.
Well, we can stay on it. I just read an article. Judge finds mother not guilty of neglect in the death of 2-year-old girl that she smothered between couch cushions while she was on meth.
I did. I saw that.
She admitted to it.
She admitted to it.
The jury found her not guilty. The judge was like pretty apprehensive, but honored the verdict, and she is free.
Yep.
After admitting to murdering her infant.
Yep.
She'll be out having another kid here shortly, and
she's already pregnant.
While high on
she?
meth.
No, I'm just kidding, but you fucking might as well be.
Fuck.
High on meth, totally okay.
And cop to it.
Yeah, and now back out on the streets, and that is proof that our judicial system is fucking broken.
And here's why. Remember when I just told you Sherry had jury duty?
Yeah.
And she was kind of fighting it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you have to go.
Yeah.
This is why. We get these dumb motherfucking brain dead motherfuckers on juries, and this is why that shit happens.
Yeah.
Dude, that breaks.
You only need one motherfucker to hang that, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you need, like, dude, it's just,
To hang the jury, you mean?
But
Well,
then
I
there's
mean,
people like
in
me who
a-
would do that just intentionally.
I don't know, but
as an
they all
antagonist.
obviously agreed.
Well,
Jeremy.
are you sure?
Why couldn't there have been one that said, like, nope, we're not doing this?
Yeah.
Because people want to go home to their lives and their iPhones and
ridiculous.
fucking
So
So my
see their
problem is I
kids
show
and-
up to jury duty in like sim shot and black rifle gear.
But it's at least you go. At
Yeah.
least show up, go, and actually try to get on it.
I'm gonna wear a
Don't make
suit next time.
excuses. You know, everybody makes
Look
excuses.
important.
I got work.
Yeah.
I've got this. I've got that. Dude, it's our duty to do that.
Is
We
it?
have to
It
be
really
jurors.
is.
Is it felonious to answer the questions in a tactical way so that you get placed on a jury? That
I
may
think it is illegal to like
represent
misrepresent
yourself.
yourself. It could be illegal, I'd imagine.
What if you have multiple personalities? Then it's okay.
You're a
For
part
you,
of
I
it. What
think-
is it called? A DID system? Dissociative identity disorder?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure they let transgender people
I don't know,
be
dude.
on
This
fucking
is
juries.
this is a problem for us. Like honestly, like good Americans, like your life could be in the balance
Yeah.
from some fucking purple-haired fucking liberal,
Well, that's what we teach in our
you know,
enhanced class.
social justice warrior.
Yeah.
Look, the jury I want is a guy like you and a purple hair on the other side because I know they're never going to agree regardless of it.
Yeah.
Like I know it's going to be a hung jury. I'm like, I'm out later.
You know, it doesn't sit well though that the defense attorney and the prosecutor get to go through jury selections. I think that that's bullshit. I think you should get called upon and have to show up and just do it.
No, I disagree with that because
Yeah, you got to figure because there's a lot of people that are there just to fuck the system
the
up.
entire intent is to try to weed out bias.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Sure.
the idea is what you want to do, and I feel like I actually could do this. I don't think I'll ever get selected for a jury, but I legitimately, regardless if it was a person that looked like somebody that I would agree with, you know, gun guy, whatever,
I'd
like,
hear the facts out.
I am absolutely willing to sit back, hear the facts, and then make a unbiased judgment based off the law.
Totally.
Now, the other side of that, this is the hard part, and this is, I think, a big part that people have an issue with cops as well, is you are judging versus the law. Now, whether or not you agree with that law being just is an entirely different conversation. It's the same with law enforcement. They're not there to interpret the law. They're there to enforce it.
the law.
Right.
Therein lies the dichotomy of,
You did it again.
sorry, that's the rub. That's the rub.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Such a,
Yeah.
like I feel like it's such a robust system, but it's so fragile at the exact same time
Yeah.
because they you know Sherry was getting to that point where she was actually gonna get put on that jury,
Right.
Until they asked her, "Do you have female children?" The moment that she said that, they're fucking dismissed, and it was a rape case. It was a molestation case.
I don't think that should be
like why
that-
wouldn't you want somebody that has kids on there,
It should just be a fucking straight up
right?
public hanging.
Especially, I mean, I don't know. The
I-
system is
for rape
robust and
cases, you
built
mean?
robust, but I believe it's
If-
extremely.
here's the thing,
fragile.
though.
Definitive evidence is
But that's
proven.
the whole point of court.
I don't like it.
Okay, well, what happens when you go to lunch with somebody and they don't like what you have to say, and all of a sudden you have rape allegations against you?
Wait, like, oh no. Well, I mean, I like.
My point.
I said it has to be definitive evidence.
Yeah, but
Right.
definitive evidence, the place for that to come out is in court.
Right. No, what I'm saying though is like, yeah, like if you rape a kid, you should be killed.
I
That's-
wholeheartedly agree
That's
with
all.
you.
Like I just hate the idea of someone who's
But
like
so
an
see us
actual.
saying that right now. Now this is recorded. This will be on the World Wide Web. Now will this ever be used against us later on? We never can serve on a jury because you say, hey,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? That's
But
exactly.
But
the,
I've written off ever being put on a jury
I know.
anyway. So as much as I
Dude,
would
I've-
love to serve my community in that
I've
capacity,
wanted to be on one for so long.
it will never happen
So
for me.
I
It
made
won't.
it through the second set of selections when I lived in Santa Clara County for some case. And there was a kid who was right behind me, and he's like, "Fuck, man, this case is all going on. Like, I have my wife's or my sister's weddings in Hawaii. I have plane tickets. I've paid for everything. Like this is really bad."
And they placed him.
And he went in front of me, and he's like, "They ask you, you know, obviously if you have any grievances or if there's any reason like you couldn't, you know." And he's just like, "Well, I just purchased plane tickets to Hawaii, paid for a hotel. It's my sister's wedding." And the judge was just kind of like, "Word, move on." Like,
Oh, really?
No, he had to go. He had to stay. I went behind him and I was just like, I have finals this week. And he's like, "Finals this week?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I go to De Anza, junior college." And he's just like, "You're dismissed." And I walked out and looked at the kid and walked away. And I was not attending school at the time.
There's a there's a whole comedy sketch about getting. He's like, "Sir, I've got some important family," and he's like, "No," and he's like, "What's the case about?" He's, you know, they're like, "Oh, it's, you know, speeding tickets." Well, you're like, "Oh, well, I hate cops and I hate this and that," and they're like, "Dismissed." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You just got to say all the biased things.
But dude, I mean, so regardless how you feel about Trump, look at the situation with Trump right now.
Oh, dude, it's totally
Like,
mechanized against
with-
him.
Yeah, so completely mechanized. Like that should have been moved out of that jurisdiction, right? Where he could somewhat have a fair trial.
Yeah.
But when you see things like what we just witnessed on that body cam, you know, like we should all be concerned about shit like that. Like
Yeah.
literally, and I'm laughing internally, but I like
He's
maybe
like
that's
laughing
a,
but crying.
That's like a
While
fear.
loading
That's
mags.
like, that's like a little bit of a fear mechanism. You know
It
what I
is.
mean? Like that could happen to any one of us. And
Yeah.
you have ladies like that. That's the attorney general that is above the law,
Yeah.
Yeah.
applying the law how she sees fit for her.
You want
Right.
story time?
Yeah.
I'll share it.
We need like a story time with Jeromy intro. Like story time with Jeromy.
Yep. This actually has my business partners also included in this story, but I will leave him out of it for the most part. 20 years old.
Everybody just
you
knows
know
who
his
Only
name
local
is
people
his
know.
name is listed on the business
That's
with
true.
the
Yeah.
state.
Yeah, so me and Nick, when we were 20 years old, it was my 20th birthday, and we were gonna go camping in Big Sur, and all of our friends at the time were 21
Why can't it be Big Ma'am?
because it was Big Sur. All right, we were staying at Pfeiffer State.
It's a sir.
Sir,
It's ma'am.
so we load the truck up, and I have all my, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna go up here this day at this time," and all my friends were like, "Yeah, we'll leave after work." And at the time, I was like, just chilling in life, and so I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go up early, so just we'll come by in my pickup truck. We'll pick up all your gear, so you guys just can cruise up light." In doing so, we picked up like 4 handles of alcohol, hella booze. Like we were just jam packed full of alcohol. We show up to the campsite early, and like any responsible 20-year-olds, we just got shit house drunk and immediately realized we burned through all of the ice. And so I was like, fuck it, let's just go get ice. So we hopped in the car, drove up and down these like up and down hill windy roads to the exit of like the state park. And there was like a little convenience store.
Yeah, like a
right
country
there.
store.
Yeah.
The Big
Pull
Man
in.
country store.
Yeah. Pull in, get hella ice, get back in the truck, cruising back. And I look over at Nick and I say, bro, this is like a video game right now. Cause we were like going up and down these hills and I was fucking jamming. And mind you, it's dark and we're inside of a state park.
Okay.
And whoop.
Oh.
And my brain goes, huh.
I don't have to stop like the AG.
Kinda. I was like, if I stop now, that's a DUI. But if I make it to the site, get out of the car before them and close the doors and lock them, I might escape a DUI. That was my rationalizing. That was like my thought process.
Just mix in with the crowd.
No, I just
I
meant
went
like
on that jury.
by the time they stop me, I won't be driving.
Okay.
So we can
It's like when you pull into your driveway, like home base.
Yeah.
home base. Safe. So So Nick's like, are you going to pull over? And I was just like, in a minute. And I keep going, pull into our campsite. These guys cruise in. I'm like, get out of the car now. Nick gets out, close the doors, boop, boop, lock it. Standing there, and they pull up. A lady cop and a man cop get out. And the lady cop literally looks at me and was just like, what the fuck, man? Like, right away, which is totally fair.
Absolutely fair.
Absolutely fair. And mind you, this wasn't like a 10-mile. Like,
I appreciate her candor.
oh, no,
I wish she would have tased
She
you.
was. She was.
And I wish somebody was there to videotape
Just because I
it.
want to see Jeromy get
She
tased.
was pissed. And the dude cop was super cool. So she's just like, you know, have you been drinking tonight? And I'm like, no. And what about your partner over here? And Nick's just like swaying. And every time I start to sway, I'm like, okay, if I'm like feeling like I'm going to tip over because I was at that point, I'll just like kick some grass
What's the
around
statute of limitations on DUI?
I don't think they're.
So this occurred in 2006.
So this occurred in
2006.
2007, 2006, 2007, 20.
Okay.
Something like that.
Whatever year was just outside of the statute of limitations.
So I'm like standing there, fucking kicking dirt, trying to like act like I'm just fidgety because I'm uncomfortable rather than swaying because I'm drunk. Lady cop's freaking out. She's like, you sure you haven't been drinking? She fucking pulls her flashlight up and shines it on our campsite. And there's just fucking booze cans everywhere. There's a fucking bong, a bag of weed. There's a chair in a tree. We threw a chair in the tree. I don't know why, right? By the grace of your God, he straight up, the lady cop was just like, well, we can't take all of this alcohol into evidence or anything like that. So the first thing we're going to do is we need you to pour it all out because you're not 21. And I was like, all my friends are coming. They're seriously like less than like 30 minutes away. I think this is theirs.
Take my keys. I don't care.
Like, yeah, I was just like trying to barter with her. Meanwhile, Nick's standing there holding a bag of ice in his arms, just like holding it through this whole interaction, just like straight faced. And I'm trying my best to like work it out. And they didn't say a thing about like the weed or anything.
Yeah.
They made us pour out, I think it was like 90 something beers.
Oh.
90 something beers we had to pour out.
How many of those did you drink while you were pouring them out?
So I'm pouring them out. My fingernails, dude, my,
one for the
my
ground.
fingernails are like raw at this point because like they're
Sure.
wet from alcohol and I'm just cracking these beers. Nick's helping at this point. And as we're finishing up, all of our friends roll up. And all of them are just like, what the fuck happened, dude? What's going on here?
We couldn't maintain. We got pulled over.
That's pretty much what it was. They show up and the cops had already confiscated what they took 1 6-pack as evidence, which I thought was a little strange at the time. Even like, you're just going to take a 6-pack,
they
huh?
went and cracked those in the corner somewhere.
They had to have. They had to have. Lady
They're
cop's like,
Big Sur cop. They're like, yeah, we're going to be drinking over in the other campsite.
oh yeah. Lady cop's freaking out like, you know, you're going to jail tonight. So let's just get through all this shit and like, you know, whatever. All my friends are like, please don't pour the rest of the beer out. Let us just have them.
Take him to jail, but leave the beer.
Like, no. My friend Drew's like, come on. And like, he comes down and tries to drink as I'm pouring and they fucking separate him. And they were getting all hot. Like they were not stoked. The male cop though was like, he was looking at my dude. He's like, it's your birthday. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, man, I'm real sorry, dude. My partner is not going to let this go. Like he was pretty cool about it. Long story short, they end up charging me with minor in possession.
Oh, they arrested you?
Yeah, I got in big trouble.
Oh.
I didn't get a DUI though. But all of the charges that I got and the punishment once I went to court was I basically got a DUI charge minus the fines and the restrictions of driving. So I still had to do hella community service.
Okay.
So it was minor in possession of alcohol, distribution of alcohol to a minor, and some other like failure to stop or something like that. And the next morning when we woke up though, because they didn't detain me and take me away. They cited,
they
Cite
cited
and
release.
yeah. And which was probably for the better because like they would have had to drive to Salinas to take me.
Oh, yeah.
So they were like, yeah, we're not taking this kid to Salinas to drive all the way fucking back here, which is like over probably 2 hours. So it was don't evade police. But if I had pulled over, I probably would have got a Dewey right away.
Well, don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive, people.
That's like one of my pet peeves, dude.
No, I agree.
I spend so much money in Uber every month.
I do
Yeah,
not.
well, it's like it's worth it, right?
It is totally worth it because DUIs are expensive and exhausting.
Well,
could kill
beyond
somebody.
that, like you could kill someone.
If you suck at driving.
No,
Dude, think about this.
Oh.
You've had 1 or 2 drinks, right? Just 1 or 2 drinks, not even legally, you're not 0.08, right? And somebody crashes into you, you're going to be held responsible for that.
Yeah, so I don't drink and drive at all as an adult.
That's good.
I actually barely drink. I think I had one drink with you since I've known you. And it was because you were like, "Oh, you have a drink."
Got a lot more drinks than that with Rob.
Well, you had like fucking damn near like 7 or 8 Tito's and fucking soda or whatever
I'll
it was.
throw down pretty good, but
Yeah, I had like one drink, barely finished it when we were all out at that dinner.
Oh yeah.
At Yard House. But yeah, so that's what happened. I ended up getting in a lot of trouble. I had to like do like 2 days at a trauma unit, write a little report to the fucking judge. I had to do community service. I had to pay some fines, but not a lot. It was, and I got it all expunged and off my record. So like, I'm not a piece of shit human. Like I'm a responsible older adult.
well, at least not on paper.
On paper. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what happened. It was a hoot of a day. When we woke up the next morning, everyone's like, "Fuck yeah, what are we gonna do today? Let's go buy some booze." And I was like, "Yeah, I want to go home right now."
How did we get on this story?
I don't even
Yeah, story
remember.
time.
Oh, that's right. Story time with
time.
Jeromy.
There was something relevant, and as people listen to the podcast, they'll see why my interest.
It's
in
about
telling
a
stories
jury.
Oh.
You
No,
wanted to be
I
on
think
that
it
jury.
was about failure to stop.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's a bad thing.
it's
Yeah,
a bad thing.
gotta
Cops don't
stop.
like it. Yeah, they get heated quick.
How you
when-
going on time?
Oh, I'm good on time. I was just looking at my.
He's
doing
got to
the-
go to
the whole
work in
camera
California here, so he's got to be on a plane.
He's a
shortly.
very-
reset. I got to be at the airport at like 11. I'm good.
Very important man.
You gonna get some shots of you working though?
Maybe
Showing people what you do.
I can.
I bet you there's
think-
someone with a video.
I probably need to
Audit. The audit's gonna get him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give him an F.
Have you had anyone film you and yell World Star yet?
No.
You're not doing it right.
Not yell.
I'm
World
like,
Star.
what time's your flight at? I could
Works
probably
in
make
a
that.
freaking really ritzy area.
That's
I'm
true.
working. Yeah,
That's
working.
true. Like, what do you get? What do you think your most? And I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this shit because you probably are. What do you think your most common call is? Like bikers getting hit, like motor or cyclists?
Depends on the season. When it's tourist season, it's unconscious person at a winery.
Just
Really,
like this
that many?
person's.
Oh, yeah.
Way too. Is it usually like an older MILF?
No. So I'm gonna say this. People are gonna think it's racist. There's actually science behind it. It's not racist. So
Oh shit! Here we go.
I'm prefacing all of it. No, honestly, most of the times it's Asians, but there's a reason for that. There is I think it's a tannin. I don't know. I got a couple of my buddies who are way smarter.
You better nail this one.
I'm not gonna hit the science. I'll make sure I get the research or whatever so I can post it and cite what I am saying and prove I'm not racist. Most of the times it's Asians. There is a specific gene that has an intolerance to a tannin that is commonly found in, I think it's red wines. And so you'll have people who, come do the tourism thing. I mean, Napa is like a huge population of it is
Huge.
tourists. And so people are coming in and doing wine tastings.
Yeah.
They'll drink all day, will forget to eat, not hydrating appropriately. It's hot as hell. It's a very
Fuck
arid
yeah.
climate, so it's dry, it's hot, and they just pass out. And it's just usually what happens is their blood pressure falls, they syncope, they go, unconscious. They wake
Do you
up.
transport these people?
Sometimes, most of the time, they just want to go back to
You
the
just give
hotel.
them the smelly salts and they wake
No,
up.
we don't even do that. Most of the time, it's just put their feet up, let their blood pressure come up. They want
Yeah.
to go back to their hotel and get a meal and sleep, which is totally fine. We do the whole workup. Like,
Yeah.
they'll do an EKG and check vitals and do an assessment and make sure there's nothing that's like compounding factors.
Sure.
Now you said
But-
now the weather's warmer, you're going to be spending some time on the boat.
Yeah, we have Lake Berryessa is in Napa County.
Yep.
I love one of my
I used to
favorite
go there
lakes.
all the time.
Yeah, so that's in Napa. So we have a rescue boat on the lake during like the peak holiday weekends and that kind of stuff.
And that's
Cool.
just like younger drunk people getting fucked up.
It's a whole bunch of different stuff, but a lot of it is alcohol related issues. People swimming when they're drinking and not having personal flotation devices on, and parents drinking and not paying attention to their kids and that kind of stuff. So just kind of
Have you been there? Have you boated that lake?
Yeah.
So it's a massive lake,
big lake,
and yeah,
and it's full right now.
yeah.
It's
The
like
Narrows through there is crazy.
the
You
I
can
think
get some pretty big swells.
so.
and
The glory hole. Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, the what?" The glory hole is
My
I
favorite.
think it's overflowing for the first time in like I don't know. It's been like 6-7 years.
that's awesome. So this is the third year in a row that California's actually got water.
Yeah,
It's awesome. All
Yeah.
the lakes are full.
yeah. So no, it'll be fun.
I wonder if the people are allowed to still water their lawns or not, though.
No, definitely not. Straight to jail.
Well, they're
Straight
not,
to jail.
You're not
Believe it or
allowed.
not,
You're not
jail.
allowed to buy gas vehicles. That's for sure.
Yeah.
There were so many factors as to why I left California, and that was shit like that starting, like hearing stuff like that in the pipeline. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
I've heard rumors. I don't know if this is passed yet. I've heard rumors that they are looking to do zones. So you can only drive vehicles past a certain date, a certain year in these like high traffic commute zones.
Factions, dude.
Yeah,
They're, like,
kind of.
blocking it
So
off.
like if you have a classic car, you wouldn't be able to drive it in these commute areas. You'd have to get a newer vehicle. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how they're trying to line it out. But
Do the people just say, fuck this?
They don't.
We're done with all this nonsense.
No,
and
they
we're
take
voting
it.
all these fucking queers out of here.
Nope. They take it and they like it. Beep.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Like,
I
follow,
mean,
comment,
honestly,
share.
like, I mean,
We're shadow banned and we don't know why.
no, it's dude, straight up. Like, this is nonsense.
I always say I'm gonna beep it out, and it's like I'm just like, nah, I'll just leave it.
Just let it ride. Let it ride. People know this is not
we
a
should
safe
probably
space.
hire an editor that does better due diligence on getting rid of things that are going to get us
don't know.
But
canceled.
censoring Rob would be taking away his First Amendment.
That's
Yeah.
I'm not saying he can't say it. I'm just saying I'm not going to air it. But the reality is I'm going to air it anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, dude. Like, I feel like the fight is there, right?
Yeah.
Especially the 2A community, but there's so many other issues that are just crazy. I know our commercial property in California, I think this year by July 1st, I may be wrong on this, but they have to take out all the grass surrounding the whole property
The fuck,
because
man.
of water.
Grass
so it
looks
has to be
so
all
good.
it has to be all,
Rocks.
low impact.
Oh, we're going to talk about grass. All right. So I spent the entire weekend trying to rehab my front and back lawns. I hate grass. I think it looks nice. I hate having ugly grass, but it makes no sense to me. How much resources are we going to pour into this plant that doesn't feed us, doesn't do anything functional? It just looks nice.
Well, it
It's
can
so
feed you if
crazy.
you eat it.
Like I spent the whole weekend too doing all projects around the house.
Dude.
And dude, I get super bummed about my grass. Like it's a full-time job.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
Literally.
And it is,
Especially here.
it's a money pit, bro.
It is.
It does nothing for me other than it looks nice.
I spent 360 I don't have the receipt. $365 just on like random little parts, some
Dude.
sprinkler heads, a little bit of piping, couple of couplers.
I dethatched, I aerated, I laid compost. I had to rake because I got the free compost from the city of Boise. So I had
Dude,
to.
put Simplot 161616 on it. I think that's what it is.
Is that like a compost?
Bro,
or
it's like
what
a
is it?
urea. Like,
What'd you call me?
yeah, exactly.
You have a UTI?
Bro, it'll turn that shit green
Okay.
quick.
All right.
And then if you have dandelions,
Well,
I'll get you the other
Yeah,
formula.
I do. I've got a couple. I'm pretty good
the
about pouring them.
Zamzo's lawn program's pretty good.
It's expensive,
It
bro.
is.
Oh, it's only like $130 for the year. For me.
For you,
Yeah,
for
I only
mine,
have, so my house is only like
You got a lot
just
of.
shy
You
of
got
a
a bro.
quarter.
You got
acre
land.
of
Yeah,
grass.
I'm a quarter acre for my whole lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a little bit shy of that.
Bro, like it drives me nuts. I like the way it looks. Admittedly, it looks great. It offers nothing.
Yeah.
I will say this.
You gonna tear it out?
No.
No, you can't, because then it looks like shit.
No, because you could do some desert scape.
No,
that looks
you know
really
what,
good.
You know what I want to do? I saw this dude on Instagram. He replaced his lawn with clover, and then he raises meat rabbits, and they eat the clover, and that's like 90%
your
of their.
neighbors are gonna love that.
That's 90% of
Do
their.
rabbits stink or anything?
No, but I mean,
Oh, okay.
dude, people start seeing caged. I mean, whatever. I don't give a fuck what anybody
Dude,
thinks, but
he raises like.
because they move them in cages, right, all around the yard, because you can't have them free roaming. In
I
the
think
front.
yeah. I think
right,
that's. I
right,
think
that
that's.
makes
So
accurate.
they move them. They have like wheels, and they move them all around.
Dude, he
cows and
raises
shit.
like 300 pounds of meat, like finished
Rabbit's actually
packaged
really good.
meat for basically free because he bought his initial rabbits and
Yeah.
then they breed like crazy.
They do breed like crazy.
Dude, I want to do that.
Sick. Yeah, I want to be like a rabbit, dude.
Yeah.
Breed like crazy. Oh, were you not talking about that?
No,
we
we
were
can-
talking about raising meat. I'm
we
just
can
like, I
talk
want to
about breeding like
fuck.
crazy.
Bro,
no,
if
I
you
had
need
to
help when you
cough,
get back, call me.
Yeah.
We'll get over there and fix that up. But 16,
Well, no,
I
like
believe.
I mean, so I did it all. I dethatched, I aerated, I did compost, and then I overseeded. So right now, like it's
You are a little late for the overseeding.
I need to.
Am I?
Yeah.
No, because
Well-
it's getting warm. You need the seed won't even pop out until it's like
whatever.
Oh, I do that.
mid-70s.
I
that
did
shit,
it this
like-
weekend. I don't care if I'm late or not. It's done. I could say I did my
But you
due
do know that
diligence.
it's not going to happen tonight.
Did you
No, I
aerate
know.
it yourself?
But I'm gonna be Yeah, but I'm gonna be gone for 10 days. So when I get back, I'm
like, it better be fucking green.
And are you paying someone to mow it, or is your wife going to mow it while she's gone?
No,
Or while you're
well,
gone?
right now it's seeded, so we can't mow until it's got like 3 inches of growth on the new seed.
So it was that dead that it was like down the dirt.
No, it was just very patchy. So
I got a spot in my backyard
the
that
thatch
just drives me crazy.
I think the thatch choked a lot of it out. So
Yeah.
I think that was a
you
big
got to
part of it.
dethatch.
Yeah.
You got to.
It is weird here, though. You know what I mean? You take a lot of this shit for granted when you're in California and it's mild weather.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the winters are not cold there at all.
No.
Like, I would get on my bike, like I'd ride my mountain bike every day, literally every single day in California, without fail, Monday through Sunday. It would ride it religiously. We'd get up and it'd be like 30 something degrees, like no wind, maybe a little fog, and be like, fuck, this is cold.
Yeah.
It ain't cold. And then you'd be like 40 and it'd be a little bit rainy or misty out, and that ain't cold.
Bro, I don't know. I'm going to disagree slightly because, so at least in Napa, it'll be like 30, 40 degrees, but it's like that moist, misty,
It is
cold.
different, but I'm
that's
just
the
telling
best,
you,
though.
take that
It
shit for
cuts
granted.
to the
Oh, I
bone,
love
man.
it. I'm not saying I
dude,
wanna
all of my
be outside.
landscaping in California was dialed.
Dialed, yeah.
Yeah.
Like dialed year round. It was
Yeah.
just dialed.
Here you have to bring it all back to life.
It's pretty crazy. Like,
Yeah.
and then now, so some of the shrubs at our house, I didn't cut them, so then the snow falls on them and it lays over, dude. It just like destroys the place. You got to cut them down to nothing.
Nothing.
Right at the end of the season before it gets cold. And then,
Do you like doing yard work?
I love it, dude.
Do you?
Yeah,
Dude, I
I put
fucking
on,
love it.
I listen.
Dude, this is like I miss the gene because I do not. Like,
Dude,
I'll do it because I like it
gives
looking
me
good.
Do
like
you
it's
own
my
a pair of New
therapy.
Balances?
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
The White Sox?
Yeah, White Sox, New Balances, and some like cargo shorts, bro. You'll fucking
All right.
right into it.
No, but honestly, like I'll get on the rider, like, dude, I'll put on my headphones, I'll listen to our podcast,
Yeah.
which
know.
I find
Dude,
it funny, bro. We
we
talk about this
gotta
all
talk
the time.
about this. We listen to our own podcast and we're always texting each other like, I know we're biased, but we're hilarious.
Dude, we're hilarious.
We're
Why
so
isn't
funny,
everybody
so tickled by our own content.
You know, and so I listen to our podcast, I listen to Andy Frisella, like I listen to like good podcasts while I'm doing it, and it's my time to get away. It takes me like 2 hours,
yeah.
and weed eat, edge,
Well, there's
mess with
also
the sprinklers, ride my lawnmower, and then I'll hook up my trailer to my lawnmower, and I'll take all the
There's
the
proof-
shit around the
Yeah.
and it just I have a great time.
there's proof
with it.
though that A, being outside, and B, like touching earth and shit. It's like really
Dude.
good for
Oh,
you.
it's totally good
I
for
love
you.
it.
It's really good.
I will say, I will begrudgingly admit that by the end of it, I told my wife, I was like,
You always
all right.
feel good, right?
I was like, all right, I feel pretty accomplished. Like
After
it
the
did
shower.
it gave me a sense of after the shower,
Damn, dude, you let it ride?
No, I'm just kidding. Dude.
I'm like, dude, if I mow anything, it's immediate
Oh no,
shower.
my wife, I walked inside and I like took off the clothes that I was out shoveling compost. I had to vacuum because there was a pile of dirt just on our carpet. I felt really bad. It just leached off you. So
Dude, I find it
I
like
did feel
it's pretty
accomplished though.
therapeutic, but
It
then
is.
I'm start thinking, dude, I need a better weed eater. Like I need more horsepower on the blower.
Yeah.
I need more horsepower on the mower.
Always need more horsepower on the
dude.
blower.
Always.
I'm like, man,
I was
it's
out
a
last
lot of
night.
work though.
I was out last night. So I work on the weekends a lot. So it's become, since SimShot's open, like when I first moved here, my lawn was bar none the nicest fucking lawn in the neighborhood.
Wow.
And I legitimately would see like a neighbor out doing something and I'd be like, fuck it, I'm gonna go check my soil levels. It was like an ego thing.
Check your soil levels.
Yeah, you like take a sample of your soil out
And take it to Zamzo's.
Yeah,
They'll-
you get it tested, make sure all the levels
You can do
are
that
right,
with
and-
yours. You should take some
Oh.
clippings over there to Zamzo's, and they'll tell you exactly what you need.
Oh, okay.
And then they'll sell you something.
Yeah. That
Well, it
seems like
looks
a
like you
great
need-
way to be like, oh, you absolutely need something. What do
Yeah.
I need? I don't know yet. I got to figure it
Yeah.
out.
But
You're getting the whole program.
I like-
$700 a month.
I like legit, like if you see any of like the data accounts that are like the lawn mowing accounts where they do like perfect striping and shit,
I have
dude.
seen that, man.
I
That's
would,
pretty cool.
I would spend hours making sure my lawn was perfectly fucking striped. Like if a neighbor had something that looked, I would
I can't get mine to do it. Dude, I follow that guy. I know what guy you're talking about on Instagram. Dude, there's attachments you can get for your mower.
just to make the lines.
Because I have a zero turn, right? So like,
A zero turn.
yeah, it's zero
Oh,
turn.
so like well, on
you know,
a-
like the
yeah.
So yeah. But I try, dude. I can't get the lines. I mow
Do
it
you have a striper?
one. Well, you could buy those attachments for them. Like there's like things.
That's
that,
how they get that.
Do everything twice.
I do everything twice.
Oh, okay.
The front yard, exactly. I go one way and then I cut it the other way.
Grid?
Yeah.
Like forward, backward.
Twice.
Forward. Lawn care is important, man. I like that shit a lot. The
It was gratifying.
It is.
I'll admit it.
Yeah,
I'll probably get into it more, especially now that I think it's going to look nice after all this work I've done.
Dude, he's getting into it because we just shamed him for not.
I put in my whole
No, it's
backyard.
not that, I promise you.
I put in my whole backyard with me and a friend. And
Your
because
chicken coop is dope.
my chicken coop's pretty cool. I'm pretty satisfied the way that it came out.
Yeah, that chicken coop
I built that shit myself too.
That thing
was
is
awesome.
on point.
But
Yeah,
I got a
I
quote
remember.
for like 55 grand to do my backyard, and I was like,
Oh, I thought you meant the chicken coop. I was like, damn.
yeah, no, that dude was going to charge me like 7,000.
Yeah, well, I remember you had that whole debacle back and
dude.
forth with him, whatever.
Crazy.
So. Yeah, the last thing I'll say that is annoying me, we know you talk about what else is going on. We'll talk about it on the next one. But dude, all these protests, these pro-Palestine protests at the colleges, woof, that's getting me hot.
Florida's got it right, dude.
Yeah, man, Daddy DeSantis, he was like,
you want this
he
state
was
money
like-
to go to fucking school? You
Yeah.
protest, you lose
Oh,
all of it.
we'll have to save this conversation for the next one.
Yeah.
That's going to turn into 45 minutes of just rant. So
Yeah.
But yeah, you asked the question, but that's what's been boiling my water lately.
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
The pro-Palestine stuff or the protests?
Oh, the protests in general.
Really?
I fucking love watching cops send less than lethal rounds out.
Oh,
Dude, I fucking get off on that shit, dude.
Do you remember Berkeley or maybe it was
It was
I don't know if
Davis.
Was it Davis when
Davis.
that fucking cop was like
with all the orange, the
Fucking outta
what's
here,
that stuff called?
hippies.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was UC Davis.
that was the best.
that was
Oh,
during
man.
that was Occupy.
Didn't
that was
he
really
didn't he get fired for that or something?
Oh,
they
probably.
I don't
like
think
brought
so.
him up on they try to
He at least works
they
at
try
a
to
desk.
cancel
job.
his ass.
Yeah, he
That's
works at a
really when
desk
it all
for sure,
started. It was
probably.
do you remember Occupy Wall Street? That's when the Occupy movement kicked off, and then they did Occupy Davis, and that's what that event was.
Bro, he fucking hosed them all.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
the BLM protests were all happening in San Jose and stuff, I have a lot of really close friends that are San Jose
dude.
PD and
The
stuff.
like
and
the George Floyd stuff. Yeah,
all that stuff was kicking off. And
That shit was wild.
And
Super wild.
I live next door to a law enforcement officer, and he'd come home and just be like, "Oh, fucking dude, we were fucking sending rubber bullets out, all sorts of shit." But they were also getting hit with glass bottles and all that other shit.
Right.
So I mean, there's a give and go. But I really do enjoy watching people who are inconveniencing people get fucked up pretty good.
dude, the whole shut down the Bay Bridge, like
That
or
shit's
shut
crazy,
down
bro. I can't even believe that's even
the
something.
people who were trying to shut down the road on the way into what's that big festival out in the desert?
A stagecoach.
No, the one where Burning Man.
Burning Man.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dude, those tribal police, bro, didn't fuck around.
it was so funny.
Fucking
Oh, so
ramming their
good.
shit, getting it out of there, fucking
Yeah.
dragging people out. I love it. I love it.
I was all for it.
or when honestly, another thing I really love, like, and for all of our listeners, if you haven't sat down on YouTube and spent an hour watching these videos,
Like total rabbit hole.
you need to because they're so good.
They're so
Is
funny.
There are good ones.
watching people start to run from police and getting tased. It is truly just straight and plank, and then they slide a little bit sometimes on their face. Their
It's
feet
kind
go
of
up.
like that's kind of like what Justin Gaethje looked like when he got
Dude.
KO'd.
Dude.
just playing.
Yeah, I love me and Nick all the time, dude. Like in here when no one's around and stuff, and like we have no clients, we'll both be in our offices, and it's usually just like, dude, come check this shit out right now.
Yeah.
And then he comes in, and then like 2 seconds later, he's like, come look at this, and we're like watching.
We're
people.
always sharing shit too on,
yeah.
on
Dude, I am
Message,
about
message.
if you have any good videos of people getting tased,
send them to us.
link them below.
The pepper spray is the best though, dude. That shit is like
Yeah.
pepper spray.
That
Is,
stuff's terrible. I set it off
way
in a
better.
car one time.
You did?
It was awful.
Yeah, you're not supposed to put that shit off in a car.
Yeah, I'm well
Yeah,
aware.
just
Not doctor recommended.
Yeah, not doctor recommended. Very, very bad.
All
I
right, so
wouldn't
lead us
suggest
out.
it.
I know you got to go.
I was like, yeah, I'm coming up to my hard stop. So that's episode 6. Hey, look, No Quarter Pod on Instagram, No Quarter Pod on YouTube, No Quarter _ pod on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're not on Google because that's a weird platform, and we're on Amazon Podcasts. So if you listen on a different platform and you want us on there, let us know. I'll get it done.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, please, please, please. It's for whatever reason we're catching the bands. Well, I mean, we know why. We know why.
Not super
But
surprised.
we're not going to change. We're not going to change. It's just
Yeah, we're not going to change it.
We're going to fight through it. We're going to keep
Dude,
recording.
and drop those comments. We love seeing the comments. You know, the good and the bad.
You know,
and-
I'll say this though. After that,
In the DMs.
man, after my whole SIG thing, and like, here's the gig. I recognize before we get off, I recognize SIG does have an issue with their 320 platform. I'm not.
Are you conceding that you were wrong?
Oh no, I wasn't wrong. I'll fall on that fucking sword.
Okay.
SIG makes a better platform. Anyways, what I am saying is the amount of fucking hate that I got in my Instagram was like blissful, dude. I was laughing all day.
Oh, man, that
like
was
I
so
literally got a
entertaining.
message from someone I don't know,
It's
and
the
it
best.
literally only said, "You're retarded," and I was in tears.
Here's the
laughing.
thing, though. You're like the perfect scapegoat because one, the attention. Like I think you like the attention, but two, like you love when people talk shit.
Oh my
So,
god, it was so funny,
dude,
You're retarded, and I was just like, probably. Other guys like, are you serious? This is satire, right? And I'm like, no, man, I'm serious. And
Oh, man.
the dude tried to debate me, sending paragraphs and articles, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to respond to
Dude,
that. But
I'm telling you, I sit back, I edit our show, and I'm laughing out loud by myself in my office. Just it's so funny. So, anyways, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching, listening. Please help us spread the word. If you want to hear anything, talk about anything, give us topics, give us guests, whatever, we are open to it. So, appreciate you all.
yep, Idaho's
done.
#1 podcast.
Idaho's not. I like it. Idaho's never. I'm gonna put that on the Instagram.
You should. We are Idaho's #1 podcast.
We're out.